What's up, guys? I'm back. It's your boy Matt J with another episode of 100k net. Shout out to everyone that watched the previous two videos. I'm just going to keep on uploading. I think for this week, in fact, I think I'm going to try and upload a video every day, probably for the next 2 weeks. So you guys can hold me to that, all right? So I'm going to be shooting content, releasing it on this channel. So if you haven't subscribed by now, you know the cue. You heard the YouTube people before. Just hit that subscribe button. Click like, just show some support to the channel. I'm hoping that you guys somewhere along the line can pick up some pointers, some tips from some of my experience, and maybe you might even leave a comment that might help me. So let's help each other get closer to our goals that we're trying to achieve. You know how it goes, okay? I've got a question that came in on my Instagram from Cheyenne, and Cheyenne says that she's trying to start a clothing line, but she feels like her friends are not encouraging her or supporting her. In fact, she kind of thinks that they're holding her back to somewhat extent. But she says she wants to know if I could help her kind of find out if she's just overreacting or if her friends actually are not really good to be around or just, not helping. So let me explain something first to answer your question, Cheyenne, more direct. I've been online and I've heard a lot of people say, you need to get rid of your friends or deliberately push your friends away. But in my case, and what I tend to find in my life is that when you become more targeted and focused on your business, your time that you have to be around your friends will just become reduced more. The more closer you come to getting to your goals, the more focused you are, you won't have enough time. So it's not like you deliberately will be pushing them away. You naturally will be parting ways. And they're on a different course. They've got their own path or they're content with how their life is at the moment. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't remain friends, or you shouldn't speak maybe once or twice a week at max, or send the odd text here and there. But to be close and very close with someone who's on a total different mission from you, I don't think that would work. And I think that's one of the problems that a lot of people have. I think when you're both on different wavelengths, as I said earlier, but you're both trying to keep that tight friendship, it just won't work. So when I was 18 to about 21, I had a set of friends who were really content on just going around, smoking weed, drinking, partying. There was a load of house parties in the area. When I hit about 21, I wanted to pursue building an empire. So I lived in Miami for a bit, stayed in New York, traveled around to Atlanta. And the whole point of what I was doing was to make business connections. And I did, I had meetings with Kevin Liles, who's the CEO or founder of Def Jam Music, you know what I mean? And, that was helping my career. And these guys, respectfully, were probably still chasing girls or being at some house party. Beef was always kicking off at house parties. So most of them weren't even safe. And again, I'm not looking down on them for that because it's their life, it's their path, but we're on two different paths. To answer your question more directly, the next points are what you need to ask yourself to really find out if your friends are holding you back. Do your friends encourage you to do better? Do they listen to your business plans and uplift you, motivate you to go and just be direct and focused, and they give their opinions which are generally positive? Or do they give like loads of negative opinions? Do they give like, oh, you will never make it, you won't be able to do that? You know what I mean? Just such negative thoughts that you don't really need in your head, especially when you're in the beginning stages of creating a clothing line, just as you said. So ask yourself these questions. Do they divert the conversations to toxic conversations real quick? You're talking about your business, you're talking about your plans. They give you a very vague answer, and then they just move the conversation to gossip. Who's dating who cheated on who, this reality show, this artist did this, oh, have you seen this new music video? Can you learn anything from your friends? Or are you the smartest one in the room? And I don't mean learn something specifically about the business you're trying to attain or the goals you're trying to reach, but you could learn something that is about grammar. You could learn something about reading, or they could tell you, there's this cafe that's really good at this. It could be learning anything. But as long as your brain's ticking and being motivated by your friends, then I'll say you have a good circle. Take this analogy, for example. In the world of sport, if you play or train with someone that's more advanced or generally on a higher level than you, then you naturally will have to step up your game in order just to step on the court with them. By them being so good at what they do, you naturally are going to raise your standards. And that's where the saying comes from, still sharpens steel. However, the analogy still applies on the flip side. If you train with someone that's at a lower level than you, they're not as good as you, then not only will you not advance, they will decrease your level and you'll end up playing worse. The same goes for business and friendship. You've probably heard of the saying, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are, which is a true saying. However, you don't need to completely get rid of your friends. No, just reduce the time spent if you feel that they're not encouraging you, not pushing you, motivating you to reach your goals. Imagine waking up first thing in the morning to a text from your best friend or one of your friends that just has words of encouragement, upliftment, that just make you want to get up and win the day. Now on the flip side, imagine receiving a text from that very same friend that contains nothing but toxic drama. Which one would you prefer to wake up to? Anyway, Cheyenne, I hope I've helped with this little piece, and everyone watching, in fact, you can take elements from this and decide whether your friends are good for your goals or maybe they're holding you back. Leave a comment and let me know what you think. It's your boy Matt J, and thank you for listening to another 100k video. And if you don't know what 100k is, 100k is a book that I put together which has 20 years of my business experience crammed into it. It's an ebook. It will be available very soon for pre-order, so keep checking back this page. Remember, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe now. I'm out.